Hi everyone, I'm back. I am back with my girlfriend, Dana Magnus. She is the marketing strategist of the marketing brand, right? So marketing, and it's all about mission. So today we're going to talk about how to be more purposeful with your mission, how to create a mission, how to follow your mission, how to use your intention to create what you really want to do. Because, as entrepreneurs, we are all here to create something that will cause an impact in the world. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It is perfect timing. And I want to welcome Dana, my girlfriend.
Hey everyone. Thank you so much, Kathy. I'm excited to dive in with you.
Absolutely. So you're the marketing queen. I know this to be true. How did you get there, Dana? What's your backstory?
Sure. So I started my business actually out of a complete happenstance and mistake. Like, it was such a weird situation that I was in. I was an entrepreneur. I was a headshot photographer and wedding photographer. Traveled around the globe for destination weddings and pretty much, a lot of different events. And I became passionate about serving entrepreneurs and business owners, helping them to take their branding headshots. A lot of them came to me for headshots. And when I started to ask a little bit of more strategic storytelling questions, like, how are we going to be using these photos? Are we doing banners on your social media? All those like more tactical questions, they were deer in the headlights. And it was apparent to me that a lot of people weren't connecting who they were and what they stood for and what stories they wanted to tell with the way that they were presenting themselves in their business, such as their headshots or their marketing collateral. And right then and there, the conversations that started to spark up became a whole new business and all these offerings that now I help support people with. So we are 4 years into it, going in year 5, and I couldn't be happier finally finding that passion since I was 10 years old of picking up a camera to also incorporating my degree in marketing and how it all came together. And so here I am as a marketing strategist helping support people with their big mission, their big story, and then being able to go out in the world and share it.
Yeah, and it's so important. A lot of people say, oh, I need a headshot, but they have no idea why they need the headshot or who do they want to be in that headshot, right?
That's right.
All about the image and the projection. And yeah, over the years, I've discovered the same thing, that people don't really have, they don't have their backstory or their forward story. They just know that they need to do it, right?
Right. I say the internal talk is so much more important sometimes than the external talk, and being very clear and concise and focused in what you want to present yourself as is really just showing up in the world and showing up as your next level self, which is so important when it comes to growth, if growth is your goal.
Absolutely. And not just showing up willy-nilly. The authenticity, I think, is really what the world is coming around to, thank goodness. So we no longer have to put on a superficial coat. We want to be who we are. And I know that you do that very well. You help people bring out who they really are. Talk to me about your very first, so you were such a good photographer. You still are such an amazing photographer, but tell me about your first client when you dug into it and you're like, oh, okay, we need to talk about what you want to look at. How did that look and how did it feel? What was the experience?
Sure. I can think about the sexy industry that I worked out of, leaving marketing to go off on my own with photography was insurance, right? So I was actually, I had a big network of insurance agents, people in the financial services world who typically, with all the regulations and all of the compliance that they had to follow, it wasn't really as, popular, if you will, to share yourself, your story, talk about who you were. But when you talk about insurance with these life insurance agents, it was actually a very personal and relationship first kind of industry. And so people really wanted to see that this person wasn't just trying to turn them into a transaction. Like, it was really thinking about the best interests for people's lifestyles. And so we wanted to build this character of trust, because when I talked to the people, they were trustworthy, they were great people, but then I go to their website or go to their social media and it just seems so stark and like corporate and icky. And there was a huge challenge with the connection. And I just felt like this was something that I can really help with. And lo and behold, I really got passionate about asking kind of the question of, when you're done with your career, when it's all said and done and you're looking down the road of all the amazing things that you've done and the people you've helped, what would you say that mission was? What did you say that you were set out to do? What was the whole purpose of all these day in and day out hours that you feel like were nonstop, that you were working toward? And that is what I feel like people were excited about when they got lit up for, was that kind of bigger picture concept. And that's what I think is really important to share in your marketing is what is this all for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you struck a chord with one of the hardest industries to do that. Financial planners and insurance salespeople, they're so heavily regulated. They all think, the blue suit coat, the white shirt, the red tie, whatever. I think this is how I have to look. So I think you've broke so many people out of their shells and helped them find their voice, right? Yeah,
exactly. It was so much fun too, because taking photos and like different settings and scenarios, which they had never seen before and never put out. It was scary for a lot of these people. So they really needed my help to build that courage as well, to be like, hey, can I post these things? And can I do this? And this was back in 2015 when we still had a lot of opportunity and very little noise when it came to social media. So it was a great time.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about your mission. What's your mission, girlfriend? I know you have it all laid out. Let's hear it.
By the end of this decade in 2030, I want to support 100,000 entrepreneurs to be clear and focused and consistent with their 30-day action plans. So I want everyone to have an intention on where they're going 30 days at a time, because with those little milestones they can make, I know they're able to push through all the challenges that it takes to stay in business when it comes to small business.
Breaking it down into steps make it much less overwhelming and much more doable. I love what you're doing with the program in that regard. That's what happens. People go into overwhelm, but we can all think about 30 days.
Absolutely. And I do that through my program called CEO Days. It's a great time.
Yeah. And I'm going to pop into that. Actually, I didn't tell you that, but I'm jumping in, girl.
Yay.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I know your stuff is so valuable, and we all need it. We all need reminders, refreshers, re-energizers. We need all that as we go through being an entrepreneur. So speaking of that, tell me about a time where you felt, you just felt kind of deflated and you weren't really on task or unbound, out of whack, so to speak. What did you do to bring yourself back from that? And what?
Kathi, you know me, and we've worked together and been friends for a long time. And so over the past couple of years, I actually became a new mom. And that was a whole journey, I would say, of no way to plan, no way to really be prepared for all the things, right? As many times as you put your list together and try to do your schedules, these little humans will totally take you for a turn, if you will. So that was a time that I just felt like it was last year, February 2nd, 2021 was when my daughter was born, 2 weeks before I was expecting as well, that due date. And I also was growing my company to, I had eight teammates, and it was delegating, and, getting everything off my plate so the business can run successfully and profitably while I had to take somewhat of a maternity leave. And that was a big challenge. It was a challenge for me that I kept pushing throughout the rest of the year. And at the end of the year, I decided to just actually go down to a company of one. I looked at my whole life and simplified a lot of things, really looking at the currency that I wanted to be growing the most was time with my daughter and time with my family, which is a big shift. As on the first couple of years in entrepreneurship, you're thinking about growth and scale and reaching those, 6-figure incomes and things like that. And so I think the biggest lesson for me was that I looked at my values and I looked at what was most important to what I needed to do. And this is an exercise I do a lot with my marketing clients, is really get clear on what's most important. Because we all don't share the same goals across the board. That's what makes being an entrepreneur so cool, is we get to decide. And then, at the beginning of this year, I was then gone from a team of 8 to just me, kind of shaved a little bit down on my client load, spend now only 4 hours a day on work, for 4 days a week. And I can actually tell you I've surpassed already the monthly income that I did last year with a huge team. So it's been really cool to be focused. Like I said, be clear on your mission, be clear on what you want to do. And break the rules sometimes, because that's what us entrepreneurs do, is we go against the grain, and sometimes it really works in our favor. I think all the time it works in our favor when we stay in alignment with who we are and what we're called to do.
Yeah, it's alignment and it's intention. And if you in intuition, if you really feel like this is what you should do, who cares what everybody else says? I mean, do what you do. And if it comes from a deep inner knowing, then you're good to go, no matter what the norm is, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about CEO days, because I think everybody should jump into this. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if the virtual background won't distract it too much here, but I'm holding up a packet that is about 9 to 10 pages long. It's our workbook that we use each month at this virtual Zoom event. It's 2 hours that I host for free each month, called CEO
Free
Day.
People, free, sign up. Okay, go on.
Thank you, Kathi. I really appreciate that. But yeah, my goal is to really expand people's accountability and their ability to access focus, where they don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on business coaching. Nothing against it, but sometimes they go to a coach and don't even know if they need a coach. And so this is a great time to use the time to work on your business, look back at the past 30 days, assess where you are, what you've learned, what kind of tools and takeaways you want to bring to the next month, and just take that pause, because otherwise we're on the hamster wheel, constantly serving our clients, constantly getting everything we need to the bookkeeper and the accountant and the lawyer and all the other things. And this is our time to dream. This is our time to visualize. This is our time to really get intentional on what we want to receive out of our business that we always are just depositing into, right? So it's a great time to just kind of take a step back and then decide, what are we going to do? What is our intention for the next 30 days? And let's leave with a 30-day action plan. And so sometimes this touch point of just checking in with ourselves and our business is all people need to get over the huge challenges that sometimes shut people out of business. I know if I didn't have that time to get clear and intentional, I couldn't sustain raising my daughter and the childcare situation I had at my availability, having a team as big as I did. Like, it was a colossal drain on me physically, emotionally, mentally, and for my family. So if I didn't take that time to just pause and then say, hey, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And what do I need to do to move forward with my goals? It could easily spin out of control. And I see that time and time again with people, that they just go. And then they realize, holy cow, I'm running 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction.
Absolutely. And we're doers, we're action takers. So what we think oftentimes, and I was stuck in this for such a long time, that I'm just going to be busy. I'm just going to keep doing. But I agree with you totally. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, you don't know what you should be doing. And therefore you might be doing it all wrong, or you might just be doing a bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be doing anyhow.
That's right, Kathi.
Amen. Hallelujah. Hey, I've been there, because I am an action taker. So the hardest thing for me to do is to pause and reflect. And that's why I'm joining in on your CEO days. I think it's really going to help me as well. We all need it. We all need the opportunity and the invitation to stop, just stop, think about it, lay out the plan, figure out why we're doing the plan, and if it even resonates, instead of doing. We're going to be for a little while, right? During your thing. Yeah.
And I mean, going back to what you do, Kathi, too, it's staying organized. I love to tell people, print out this workbook, put it in a binder, and then almost use it as your way to look back. Like last year, on this time, what were your goals? What were your wins? What were your challenges? And celebrate those things. So keeping all those things in one place, in one binder, each month you insert your next workbook. I bet it's an organizer's, little little dream idea of just organizing your business and archiving it away, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And putting things on paper, the thought word deed thing, actually writing down your intentions and writing down and celebrating. I find that, when I published my first book in 2009, I didn't even celebrate. Then I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to market it? Right. I went directly into oh no, now I need to market. Not just, it's like, oh, what was I thinking? Like, why did I not stop and celebrate?
And let's put it this way. If you would have celebrated and cheers and set out your wine and cheese and on your beautiful little tree house there in San Diego, those probably would have been all your marketing collateral that you would have needed to give people that excitement about the book. It's like sometimes we don't realize that our celebrations are, what we want to communicate, and it gets other people excited too, which is again way more impactful. So just a little tip there.
Yeah, no, I totally am with you on that. And I've been putting celebrations into all my trainings lately, like what's interesting I found is that people have different ways to celebrate. I asked them, how do you like to celebrate? And some people, well, I like to take a long walk. Other people, I'm just going to get up and dance. Other people, I'm just going to have a nice, bottle of champagne or celebrate that way. Or, I'm just going to sit in the sun for 5 minutes. So whatever way that we have to celebrate, it's all unique and individual, but there definitely needs to be an homage to an accomplishment. And, I think that's so very important. So that's why I think your program's so fantastic. So, okay, I know you like to get organized. I know you love to be organized. What's a secret hack that you use that you rely on all the time? What's your favorite little organizing, either hack or strategy or program that you use, Dana?
So I'm a big fan of the Google Drive. I have kind of mastered it where it speaks to all of my devices. So no matter where I go, everything is organized and they're set folders. I'm also somebody who I mentioned, I work very little nowadays. So like yesterday we were on our way to a family party and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get my newsletter out. And it was a great tool that I use Google Drive for to be able to access what I call my monthly marketing dashboard, which again, all members in my my community and my space know that, who are clients, go right to the date and copy and paste the content I already wrote and throw it into my scheduler, which is my email program called Flowdesk. And just the simplicity of no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I've already pre-thought my theme. I have it all down on these dashboards and I can access them on Google Drive, on my tablet, on my phone, on my desktop, on whoever's device I want to log into. If, said all those things were stolen out of my backpack one day on an adventure, it's just great that I have everything kind of packed away in Google Drive and in my folders and accessed anywhere on the cloud. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Google Drive. That's part of my training that I have for the Get It Done formula is all about Google Drive. And, and if you have everything stolen, then you still have it. It's not stolen.
No.
The device
That's like the coolest thing. Yeah. I never want that to happen to anyone, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of cool to know that you have that extra insurance in your mind of like, okay, all my stuff is safe.
Absolutely. And a password vault too, I'm sure you use.
LastPass for now until who knows. There's always some cool things that come out every couple of years. And then that migration of getting everything over. But the more organized you stay, the more organized you will be. So things are always integratable, if that's even a word.
That's right. And the more organized you are, the less time it takes to do that transition into whatever new whiz bang things happening out there.
That's right. I love it.
There's always something going on out there. Okay, so if you were to write a book tomorrow, what would your book be?
Oh my gosh, I've been asked this a couple times. People say, "Oh, you need to write a book." So I really think the book that I would write would be around, setting an intention, one moment at a time or something like that. I'm really bad at the titles unless I really distill it, but definitely about intention setting. And really what I would love to do is almost make it a workbook where it's a 365-day, intention reminder for people. And then maybe a little story that they can journal on. I love the interaction and like giving the empowerment to others to like learn and grow just from a quick prompt. So that's what I feel like my book would be about. And of course, anything that they write down could be their marketing prompt for the day as well, if they're more of sporadically, posting or sharing or doing emails like I just shared my story to be. So something about like a daily intention setting book would be fun.
That's great. I love it. And you're on your way to doing that already. You probably have it halfway written.
Probably.
Probably. I'm thinking you might with everything you've been doing. Well, that's fantastic. Okay, so I know you have a valuable free resource that you want to talk to people about, and let's bring it on. What do you get?
Well, I think that one's really would be CEO Days. It is free.
That's what I thought.
You get the workbook, you get the time with the community, and it's kind of like a triple impact kind of experience with the people you get to meet. It's a little networking component, but it's the get it done time, it's the workbook, and then it's of course that accountability. We have that time where you can actually pick something, work on it, and say, wow, what an amazing little homework club for my business I went to. So CEO Days happens every single month. And you can check it out at danamagnus.com/CEO Days.
Yes, and I will have the link there so you can just click and join. And even if this month doesn't work, it's always happening every single month. So you don't have to, the time is not a problem. You just have to, again, schedule that time in whenever you decide you're going to jump in. So that's really generous of you. It's actually generous of you to give 2 hours of your life to your people every month. That's fantastic. So
anytime. It's my mission to help people. So I love it.
100,000, is that what you said? 100,000.
100,000 people. So I'm not one for doing the math, but if everyone brings a buddy with them and then they bring a buddy, I'm sure one day we'll reach that even sooner, because it is such a shareable and fun event to do with the buddy system.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll put it out there in my newsletter as well. So, all right, gang, I love talking to you. We could just chit chat forever.
Oh my gosh, about so many topics too.
Yeah. Okay. So what did I miss talking about to you? Is there anything that I should have asked you that we want to discuss?
I mean, if I were talking about organization and marketing, I would ask people, how are they staying organized with their marketing? I think that then if I were to answer that, definitely keeping your ideas in a very accessible place. Let's face it, we take showers and have those most brilliant thoughts that come up. We're in the middle of driving and maybe we have the best way that we're thinking about something and we want to share it out. It's always in those very inconvenient off the computer moments is when we get our best inspiration. So if I were to share anything, valuable for you to take home today, it would be to find your way that you like to capture your very authentic and genuine thoughts around the way that you think about innovating and inviting people to your business. Some of the things that I tell people is sometimes just simply on your phone, even while you're driving, pop that, that record on your camera. And even if it's, the video's turned off, just talk while you set your phone down and, just talk into it with your ideas. And then you can later transcribe that into a service that there's so many of them out there now, even for free. And then you can just continue elaborating and writing on there. So little things like that. I know I'm a 2 a.m., like wake up in the middle of the night with a brilliant idea. So keep a notepad if you're somebody who doesn't sleep next to your technology. Keep a little notepad next to your nightstand and just jot down whatever you can, because those are sometimes your brilliant multi-billion-dollar ideas. And I think that those are great to record and then keep organized and put them in a spot in maybe your Google Drive or your digital files to then roll those into your monthly content plans.
Yeah, I totally agree. And speaking what you think is so much easier than writing what you think. So just turn it on and blab away, and then you're going to say, oh, I was pretty smart. That was a pretty smart thought. When we try to write it, I think we get all caught up in grammar and all that, all that good stuff, as opposed to just spewing out what we think. So that's really good advice. Love it. Love it. My girl.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. I have to run and you need to get out of here too and get back to now you only have 3 more hours you can work today. So have at it.
Love it. That's right.
Thanks so much, all of you, for listening. Make sure to check the link, check out CEO Days. It's huge for you. It will give you accountability. It will give you visioning, and you'll have a very thoughtful, genuine leader behind you.
Aww. It's so amazing to be here, Kathi. I just love everything you do. If you're not already like following innately with all of your emails and your tips, I'm like, every day I want to like reorganize my bathroom after seeing one of your tips. It's like, oh yeah, the little basket idea, or the yard for your stuff. I'm like, genius, brilliant. So Kathi, thank you for doing what you do too. I'm like always learning from you, and I really love what you do. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, you guys take care, and signing off for now. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you want to hear more, feel free to subscribe on the platform of your choice. Also, if you feel so inclined, I would truly appreciate a good rating from you to me. Have a stellar day.